Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Crossover. Starring Josh Johnson and Chris McGill. Featuring Christina Thorson. And of course, you, the Instagram live chat. Now, sit back and enjoy this week's edition of The Crossover. Powered by Card Ladder.
You got first? Nice. Congrats.
But you're the official scorekeeper, so you tell me.
Well, my stream says Basketball Card Collector 93. This is weird. They beat you to it, but they didn't spell first correctly. They put Fire T.
Well, on my screen, I was first anyways.
Yeah, so I think you got this. You got this either way.
Perfect.
Congrats.
Well, let's end the show. It's been a good...
Let's come up with some title. We'll call this first. Good episode. The questions we got this week were awesome.
Yep.
I loved them this week. But before we get to the questions, today is August 18th, Friday night. Welcome everybody to The Crossover. Oh, an early title suggestion has come in from Victory Investments. Drake's last question.
He's like teetering on the edge of survival in the question game.
Nice. All right, so we start with mail days. Do you have any mail? You do. I know you have one mail.
I have one. I'm a one-a-week mail day guy at this point.
Let's see it.
2005
That's pretty nice.
LeBron emblems of endorsements. Last week was 2007. So knocked off two. I bought the two cards the same day. One of them came from a vault, and the other one came from a collector. So you can probably tell which is which.
I have a feeling which one got to you fast.
Correct. But this is a nice one. This one's got hollow foil unlike last week's. This one's out of 15 though. PSA 9, which is a tough grade for Exquisite. So excited about that one.
And those are so rare, and there's no other parallels to that card.
Correct.
Just the 1 to 15, and that's it.
I know this is maybe a bit complicated for the modern collector to understand, but back in the day, they used to make sometimes no parallels. It would just
what does that mean? I can't.
No. Let me teach you about vintage, my friend.
All right. I should have gone with my Wimpy mail day first, but here's my little mail day.
Hey, Wemby?
Wimpy, not Wemby.
Thing.
I picked up Christian McCaffrey, my second field level black of Christian McCaffrey. This one from his last season with the 49ers. With the Panthers.
Second of this one or second of any of them?
This is my second period field level black for McCaffrey.
Very nice.
I also have the one after this season is inaugural 49ers one. And then I picked up the newest Jokic Optic Gold in a trade with Mahoney Cards. So I traded him the 2018 Jokic Optic Gold, and he sent back this 2022 and some cash.
Oh, because you had multiples?
I did indeed have multiples in 2018. So.
You had four of them or something?
I had two. Only two. Only two. Carvin says, don't like parallels for high-end products. Oh, and a happy 818 day for people in Southern California. All right. Do we have announcements? We do have some announcements.
Yes. This one's more for Christina, so if you don't like it, blame her. But
I'm going to blame her either way.
And I'll show it either way. So let's see what we got. On your collection page, big green add button. Click add, and there's a new box. And it's for PSA cert uploads in bulk. So you can now upload several PSA cards at once using CSV, similar to how you could, upload similar multiple manual cards with CSV. This comes directly from Christina She was bugging me for all of 10 minutes, and then I built it.
Amazing.
And it's pretty simple. Here's like what your CSV would look like. This is getting in the weeds and nerdy, but that's all right. You basically just need the cert number, the date you purchased it, how much you paid, some notes if you have them, if you sold it. It's really not that much, and then it'll use the PSA API to pull all the information about the card. You know, the player's name, the set, the number, the image. Even it'll do all that for you.
Nice work. A spreadsheeter's dream. So well done. Well done.
A bulk submitter's dream.
A bulk submitter's dream. I'm writing that. Any other announcements?
No.
Very well. On to the show.
Do you have any announcements about Burbank?
Well, Christina,
Yes.
are there any announcements we'd like to make about the Burbank Card Show?
Yes. Card Ladder will be at the Burbank Card.
Card Ladder will be at the.
Card Ladder will be at the Burbank Card Show in Anaheim, California at the end of this month. We will have a booth, a charging station, as well as be sponsoring the Saturday night trade night, which is in the same location. So if you are around Southern California and have nothing to do on Labor Day weekend, come hang out with Card Ladder at the Card Ladder booth at the Burbank Show in Anaheim.
All right. Nicely done. Here we go.
Well, I'm glad that I put unavailable for the fantasy football draft Saturday night. Did you as well?
I did as well.
There you go. That's smart. We had a Google form for our fantasy football league, and you have to put the times you're not available. And I was like, Saturday night, we have a trade night. I cannot do that.
Carter wants to know, can you take care of Little Exquisite?
Yes.
Josh, maybe we could do it that draft Friday night, since I think we're going to be in your town on Friday night.
No, we're not.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, we are.
yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
What's that?
That
We'll be
August 25th or something? Yeah, August 25th. Think about that date. Just think about that date.
Oh, we're doing a live crossover?
we're planning to be in Phoenix.
That's what I just said. Thank
You're welcome.
He tells me through weird ways, like, let's do the fantasy draft at your house, instead of being like, I'm coming through.
you. Well, I don't know. The schedule was presented to me today by my executive partner. All right.
Just as an executive.
Let's bring in the first question from Publius 13. A great honor to have the first question.
He's talking shit already.
I saw that. He said his fantasy draft is tomorrow. Are there any last-minute hot takes to consider, knowing that you guys have an eye for washed-up running backs to avoid?
Isn't McCaffrey like a consensus like top 3 pick?
Let's see here. Where does Fantasy Pros rank McCaffrey in a PPR league?
He's got to be 1, 2, or 3. Probably 2 or 1.
PPR overall, he is the consensus number 2 pick
Behind?
behind Jamar Chase.
What?
Yes, this is I can't believe my eyes. They have Jamar Chase. The consensus pick for PPR on Fantasy Pros is Jamar Chase, McCaffrey. I don't understand what's happened here. Jefferson has like plummeted 2 spots. That's weird.
They probably saw, you know what it is? Fantasy Pros saw that his Black Friday night is for sale, and they're like, something's up. People are dumping. The jig is up. This guy's done for.
Fair. Okay, so wow, that's bizarre. But I still have plenty of affection for the washed-up running back known as Le'Veon Bell.
So he wants to know busts?
He just give him a fantasy pick for his draft tomorrow. Give him a play.
I think this is the year that Derrick Henry falls off. That's my hot take. I think he's coming close. I think he might be 29 or 30. This is that age. He's had a lot of beatings over the year. This is the year he gets hurt or falls off big time.
Fair. That's a good hot take. There was a Ringer fantasy podcast going the opposite direction, saying lean into the old. Yeah,
that was a good episode.
I don't really have one, man. Take McCaffrey if you can. That's what I say.
You know, we're in a auction draft, right?
Oh, I know. Now.
And so do I. Oh, what's that? Another $70 bid from me. Look at that. Don't even want the guy.
Oh, Lord. Okay. All right. Next question here from NorCal Cards. What are your thoughts about Kimmy from Hobby Kings posting his collection in the Malaysian Collectors Facebook group? Amazing cards like LeBron Exquisites, including Titleists out of 3, a Gold RPA out of 23, an MJ Gold Logo Man 1 of 1, etc. All of them are raw. What do you think is the benefit of keeping these types of cards raw? So I can't pull up the Facebook group post, but I can pull up his newly created Instagram account.
I think you're dropping a bomb on people right now. I'm pretty sure that most people don't know that he has an Instagram as of like 3 days ago.
Yeah. So he's just like kind of rapid fire posting his cards. Like, watch, I'll click on one of these and I'll have like 6 likes. Wow.
So that's less likes than a Burrow Ruby Flawless horizontal RPA?
I think it is slightly less, yep. And yeah, I mean, this collection just is enormous. And it's 2000 era, grails.
Well, you said something to me like, man, he's just gonna blow through them all in 3 days. What's up with this strategy? You should do like 1 a day like Bob M. And I was like, dude, it's gonna take him just as long as these other guys if he does 10 a day. He's got so many.
Right. I will note that card design has come a long way.
I think you might want to be careful. I think Kyle likes those ones.
Dude, shout out to Kyle, man.
That's a 101, right? These are like, most of these are 101s. You're just like scrolling past 101s left and right.
Well, here, how about this?
That Wade auto was a 101.
Kirk Heinrich, Ben Gordon, and Luol Deng for all you Chicago Bulls fans out there.
He did not play favorites with who he collected. He went after everything.
He did.
Those are 101s, all of those. Those 2 Chris Pauls are 101s.
It just never ends.
It reminds me a lot of Tim Exquisite Collector's collection. Very similar taste. They were clearly like going after similar cards. Pretty incredible stuff. I have no idea what's coming. I do know his LeBron Exquisite collection is like complete. I think he has like all the main ones that I'm after, so looking forward to that. But he's also obviously got a bunch of other stuff, a lot of MJ, Kobe stuff, a lot of big time players.
Yeah, he made this account like a day or 2 ago. And yeah, but I think we gave a few spoilers from the question, because the question included that apparently on the Facebook group he showed a gold RPA of LeBron out of 23, one of his Titleists out of 3, and an MJ Gold Logo Man 1 of 1, and none of those have been posted yet. So who knows what else is coming here.
So what's your thoughts on them being raw is the question.
Oh, man, that's a great – I think, something I think about – well, let's first pay respect to the purity of a raw card and how great it looks and so on and so forth, because all those things are true. But then beyond that, and it's also nice to just take the card out of the holder every once in a while and just kind of touch it and smell it if it still has its smell. But, the first thing I think about is about how grading standards have tightened up so much since the 2000s, and how had he graded those cards back in the had he graded those cards back in the 2000s when he had got them, they would all probably be a grade or 2 higher or more than if he ever ends up submitting them today. I always think about that.
Dude, if he submitted his whole collection with PSA tomorrow, he would have to pay like $1 million.
That's a really good point.
Not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
Like, it would literally cost him $1 million to grade all those cards.
That's a consideration.
So, you know, there may be some reasons. Also, I believe he's overseas. It sounds like Malaysia potentially. So, I mean, it's not super easy, especially in the 2000s, to be grading stuff from overseas from that far. So, like, that's probably why a lot of it's raw. You know, he clearly is a long-time collector and maybe doesn't value the graded stuff as much. So, I mean, there's obviously lots of value in having it graded. And I'm sure people have talked to him like, hey, let's grade all this stuff, but maybe he just doesn't want to.
Of course. I mean, there is something great about having the chance to just have, I mean, you can remove all the layers of plastic in between your eye and the card, and you can really just get the best look at it and enjoy it the best when it's raw, I think. I think that's pretty indisputable.
How would he even ship all that stuff over to a grading company? He couldn't.
Would you even feel comfortable like bringing it onto a plane?
No.
Like,
Yeah, he'd have to like hire the Secret Service.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'd have to literally hire like armed guards to follow you from where you are to the PSA office on a plane.
Right. Exactly. Okay. Really cool collection. And it feels like he's just warming up here. All right. 90s b-ball cards with a tough question. You can only have one. Which do you pick? NBA League Pass or NFL Red Zone?
We're gonna have different answers on this. I know it. Red Zone, ride or die, baby. Red Zone is my favorite single thing created in television history.
Red Zone is, I can't disagree with that.
Scott Hansen.
It's the best product. It's the best 7-hour product that any sports, except for maybe like marquee boxing pay-per-views sometimes are great, but the advantage of League Pass is that you can watch any out-of-market or non-national game, and whereas Red Zone entertains me for 7 hours every Sunday, or however many hours it is, League Pass entertains me for 15 to 20 hours every week. So I have to go with League Pass there. Stiff says it cannot be ignored that League Pass's execution sucks. Choppy screen, audio off.
Why can't you get your local team on League Pass? Like,
that's got to.
So stupid.
Dude, there are like it's similar to how local networks will black out a game sometimes if it doesn't sell out. It's like restrictions are put into place to like try and prioritize the ways in which viewers consume the product.
It's crazy though, because like there was a couple times when I tried to watch a Suns game on TNT or ESPN, and it's like, nope, sorry. And I'm like, I will literally pay you money to let me watch this fucking game. Why can I not watch it? I have the money. Let me watch it. I'll pay you.
I know. It's brutal. Yeah, it's local TV rights, exactly.
So I have to like buy like Cox cable internet, which I'm not going to do. You know, it's just so stupid.
Exactly. That's what it's designed to do. So
dumb.
Cards and cardio. This is a very hot topic this week. Cards and cardio takes it to the next level by asking, will the Wander Franco news change behaviors towards investing in younger prospects, or will it continue to be business as usual? What would it take to change your investing behaviors?
Definitely won't change it. Not even close. It will not change. I mean, this happened with Deshaun Watson, right? Didn't change it. I mean, it's gonna. In fact, the quarterback thing got even more intense after the Deshaun Watson thing. So I don't know. Don't think it'll ever change.
Yeah.
Do we want it to change though? Is it bad?
I think I think the question asker wants it to change. I think the question asker thinks it would be good if it changed.
Well, you and I were talking this week about what it would take to get to the level of a player collector like a Bob Amtrak. And there's only one way to do it, we've determined, and that's that you have to buy all of that player's best cards at or near release. You got to buy them from when they come out of breaks. You got to be aggressive. You got to go get them all. You got to buy the Black Finite. You got to buy the Logo Man. You got to overpay a lot in most cases, no matter what player. You got to be super aggressive to go get all that stuff. And then you got to hold it through their whole career. And that is the only way that you can have the ultimate player collection PC. So I don't know that I wanted to change, just making that observation. I like seeing that people have these player PCs.
Yeah, it's a great point. Maybe the compromise is maybe people stop paying so much for the right to build the ultimate player PC.
How do you stop that?
By scaring people into thinking that their prospect could fall into a Wander Franco situation. Dude,
we literally show how every single prospect goes down, and it doesn't matter. People still do it.
Right. Well, I mean, that's something I was thinking about as I was looking at Wander Franco's index in Card Ladder. It's gone from like 1,800 to 1,000 in the last few days, and it will drop further.
Whoa.
Okay, so that's almost like a 50% drop in a few days, and it will drop further. But prior to this, Wander Franco's index went from like 6,000 to 1,800. Okay. Just as a result of market fluctuations and coming down from the pandemic boom and so on and so forth. So, and plus being a prospect, everything. So his the likely cancellation of his career has yet to impact his cards to the same effect as just good old prospecting ups and downs.
Well, I think in baseball, the joke with like the baseball prospecting is that, their value gets hurt when they finally like step on the field in the majors. I think I've heard that joke, so that was probably, a lot of what happened with him. He finally started playing and people are like, sell.
Just like how a new car loses its value as soon as you drive it off the lot. Same thing with these prospects.
Can you think of a single NBA prospect in cards where his value has gone up since his up every year? Maybe like a Giannis, but until the pandemic.
Giannis has gotten bludgeoned. His cards are down 50, 60%.
Yeah. I meant like up for the first 6 years or something.
Oh yeah, then a Giannis is exactly the prototype for something.
Mahomes probably had it because he was drafted and sat out a year, maybe.
Absolutely, yep. But Mahomes for sure. You need that special recipe of like not being on anybody's radar at first, and then suddenly, and it's even better, I think, if you can slowly build up.
Right. Giannis did that. I feel like he kind of slowly got a little bit better every year.
Exactly, he did. Exactly right. Okay. PLB cards. I love how this hobby this question makes me think about how this hobby and discourse in general is just one take, begetting another take, begetting another take. It's like a ping pong ball going back and forth. So PLB card says this, and this is a good question. You guys talked about influencers for a bit last week. I don't seem to have any issue avoiding influencers or anyone else that I find to be annoying on social media. Do the people who complain about influencers the most secretly love to follow them?
Because you put the word hate in there, the answer is yes. I thought it was like secretly love them. Absolutely not. Secretly hate them, or love to hate them. Absolutely.
Yeah, there's something to that, but I'm having a problem with curating my feed properly because I have so many conflicting interests. So, for example, I have no interest in seeing the flood of Brock Purdy and Sam Howell and Desmond Ritter RPAs. But my feed on Instagram is flooded with them because over the last 3 months, I've formed relationships with breakers and people who buy into a lot of breaks, but in football in particular, because they've been selling me their McCaffrey cards that they pull. So then I follow them, they follow me. We're recent additions to each other's networks, so they are probably prioritized by my algorithm. And now I just see all these RPAs and stuff, and it's a byproduct of the networks. But and I want to continue following these guys, but like at the same time, I just scroll my feed and I'm like, show me the Michael Jordan card, please. So
that's not happening. You can't pull a Michael Jordan card.
I know. And then the similar thing with the influencer content, because a lot of influencer content is either partnered with or coming directly from companies in the hobby. But a lot of us like to follow the companies so we can get their news updates, or if it's an auction house, we can see what items that they have in their forthcoming auctions. But then you also are subjecting yourself to heinous content. So, I understand where this question is coming from, and I think it's right on some level. But there isn't a perfect solution to this either. It's not just like, you can perfectly curate your feed. It's not that simple. Sometimes you have to make trade-offs.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot more difficult in the last year or so.
It has. All right. Drake's PC.
Oh, here we go. He's got 2. Dude, he's there's like stray shots coming my way now too in these comments.
Dude, I think Drake was just fired up. Drake had a crossover death wish.
He's just really fired up that Luka cards are worth more than Peyton Manning. He's looking for some bones to pick.
Yep. Here we go, Drake. Here we go, buddy. Drake's PC says this. First, let me start by saying I love watching Luka Doncic play.
See, you knew it. It's when he starts soft like that, you know it's coming.
Yes, you do. You can't trick us, Drake, with your pleasantries.
Your blessings.
Second, if this is the last question I'm allowed to ask on Crossover, it's been a fun ride.
It is. I never want to hear from him again.
Blocked.
He's such a thoughtful question asker. All right. My question. Why are people who spend big money on Luka cards who may not only be buying for the simple reason of collecting? So that's an important caveat here. Why are they given a pass for prospecting, yet people who spend big money on prospects like Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow are raked over the coals for dumping money into a prospect? Fundamentally, what is different where it's generally accepted that Luka is an acceptable person to unload the 401k into, yet other similar athletes with a lack of MVPs and championships are frowned upon?
Can I argue the point before we even start that what he's saying is true? I mean,
right.
I read a lot of hate around people buying Luka cards 2-3 years ago. Tons of it, in fact, especially around basketball season. And now that like the football stuff is front and center, that's kind of what we're thinking. We're thinking about these guys and how much hate they're getting for this prospecting stuff. But I feel like the Luka one is pretty equal 2-3 years ago, especially. I mean, it's slowed down. The hate for it has slowed down for it in the last year because he's come down in price. We've moved on to hating other things. That's how it goes.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that and Drake followed up in a DM and he said, "Look, I'm more in football circles, so maybe I don't. I'm more exposed to the vitriol towards Herbert, Allen, and Burrow. And I think that's exactly right, because I think one of the most common questions or comments that comes to this show for years running is some variation of, why is Luka so overrated, overvalued, etc. If not the most. And I think there's a lot of influential and smart people in the hobby who either are low on Luka or who, at a minimum, think that his prices are high.
And not only that, I'll double down and get your back here. Luka gets way more hate in the media than those other guys. Those quarterbacks are like praised like they're Mahomes, even though they're not, and they've done nothing. And Luka is like shit on over Tatum and all the American players. So I think Luka's getting it from both sides. He hasn't as much though in the hobby lately, I will admit. Like, I haven't heard much. I don't know. I took that as like people just kind of moved on to the newer prospects, because like Luka is also 2018. Those guys he mentioned are 2020 and stuff. So there's that.
And I think that's right. And then I think that there's the old news factor is real here, but also like if we were to compare these guys as prospects on their merits. Burrow and Allen are both in their age 27 seasons, and Luka is going into his age 24. So that's, at age 27, it's pretty difficult to call somebody a prospect. They're a veteran in their physical prime. So I think that's a distinction here as well to be made.
Herbert's 27.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Not Herbert. I messed that up. Josh Allen and Burrow are 27.
Yeah, I know. Burrow is older because he, like, transferred and stuff.
Okay, so here's exactly what it is. Herbert is 25. Herbert's a year older than Luka. Herbert is 25. Burrow is 26, but will be 27 for this season. He turns 27 during the season. Yeah. And Allen is already 27.
Yeah. And Mahomes is 27.
Yeah. Let's see. And Mahomes will be 28 in a month.
Dude. I know this isn't the question. This isn't the spirit of it, but the NFL is loaded with young, exciting, talented quarterbacks. It's just fucking loaded.
They're all in the AFC, too.
I know. Well, Caleb Williams will be in Arizona next year after we go 0-16, so we'll scales.
I'm gonna say one more thing in defense of Luka as well, because otherwise my fellow Luka collectors will flame me, as they have lately a little bit. I will also say this: Luka has been decided by the media or by the voting panels to be one of the two best players at his position for 4 straight seasons, which is something that only about 45 NBA players have ever had in the history of the sport. Josh Allen, who is the most decorated of the quarterbacks listed in that question, has been determined to be a top 3 player at his position once ever, when he made the second team All-Pro. Herbert has never made All-Pro. And what about Burrow? Burrow might have an All-Pro.
I don't think so. Do they have 2 team All-Pros in the NFL now?
They have 3. No, Burrow has never made an All-Pro either. So there are levels to this when it comes to comparing those players. But to see Drake's point, none of them have an MVP or a championship. That much is absolutely correct.
So who was last year? Mahomes, Hurts, and
Let's see.
I would have thought Burrow would have been 3rd last year.
So offense, Mahomes and Hurts. I don't know why I thought there was. I was looking at this earlier. I guess there's only 2. There's 2 All-Pro teams. You were right. I don't know why I thought.
But like
Mahomes,
2 guards, 2 quarterbacks. It's actually equal. That's why I wanted to make sure.
Got it. Yep. Mahomes and Hurts were the first and second team last year.
Yeah, easy.
Oh, I know. I got confused because they give, like, for running back, they give they give 4 first teams to running back last year.
It's a little wonky. Like, we don't really give as much attention to the all pros for NFL and stuff because it's just a little more complicated than NBA with all the positions, and how many they give to each position isn't as equal.
Right. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Say what Mark said.
Yes. Mark says Drake just asked this question to hear you guys shit on QBs not named Manning, elite troll.
Dude, I hate this. I hate that this prospecting thing is happening because if it wasn't for that, I would be so excited about the future of the NFL quarterback. It's just like I said, there's so many good ones.
Oh yeah, it's great. It still is great. There was another troll question. Here it is. Mark made me think of this. Alex Foley 13 PC says, "What do you guys have against wrestling cards? You seem to poke fun at them a lot."
Well, I would say we don't poke fun of it because we don't talk about it at all.
I know. I mean, maybe there's been a few jabs thrown in randomly or something, but I have nothing against wrestling cards. I think that they're
I can't think of one thing I've ever said about wrestling cards other than, Brett seems to enjoy it.
Right. Brett definitely keeps me abreast of more goings on in the wrestling card community than I naturally would take.
He interviewed someone who is a magician and a wrestling card collector. That is a first for me, hearing that. It was a very interesting episode.
Nice. All right. Mike Pinkerton 50 asks, do you think dollar boxes are for collectors and cards and cabinets are for investors?
Oh, come on. So collectors can't buy expensive cards? Is that the take?
No, but you can infer that from the question. I think the take is like respect the dollar box browser, because the person who's browsing the dollar box very likely is a true collector, whereas a person buying expensive cards might be a true collector, but they might also just be an investor.
I know a lot of people who go through the dollar boxes looking for that $20 card to flip. So, it's both.
I agree. I don't think that this topic permits clean power. But nice try, Mike. Okay. Shout out Mike Pinkerton. Vinny Slabarino. Always enjoy the show. What do you think about slabs labeled with someone else's name on it, like the Dimitri Young collection? Or to make it more modern, I'm inserting this, not Vinny, the Steve Aoki collection has been branded on some recent PSA slabs. Is it a plus or a minus for pricing? Personally, all of my cards are part of the Vinny Slabarino collection, and I don't want somebody else's name on the slab.
Yeah, this is a strange thing to me. I've seen the Dimitri Young one, and I'm like, how much would it cost to get this removed, PSA? Because I want it gone. It's so strange to me. It's cool to know the provenance of something, but I don't want to brand it on my cards.
Fair. There also are slabs bearing the vanity title, the Black Swamp Find, I think it is.
Which sounds gross.
Which speaks to provenance as well. What, Christina? Christina says, what about the Goodwill LeBron?
I removed that. It's gone.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Well, at least he's
Checkmate.
One nice thing about the Aoki one is that you're getting it pretty cheap because he's dumping it from buying it after all-time highs. That's a plus.
That is a plus. That is a plus. All right. Ben, Cross Country Runner 1.
How'd you say that one?
Ben, Cross Country Runner 1.
Okay, just checking.
Says, would you rather have Fanatics 10x the hobby or have the hobby return to pre-pandemic level participation?
This is such a hard question. I feel like people are trying to gotcha me on this lately. Cage asked me this variation of this question today, and now I'm getting it's like, am I not allowed to want the hobby to grow, but also like keep it collector focused? You know, I feel like the implication is that if I want it to 10x, then I'm some corporate shill and I just want like jersey collectors to flood the space and flip and stuff. And if I don't, then I'm, you know, like a blowout curmudgeon who just wants like things the way they used to be. It's probably somewhere in between for me.
Yeah, if you want the hobby to 10x, then you can never criticize influencer content or corporate content again, because we need it to 10x, Josh.
Really?
That's the gist of it, correct?
Yeah. But I think Ben is coming from a totally different point of view. I think Ben is saying, wouldn't it be better to go back to pre-pandemic level participation? I think that's where he's coming from. I'm sorry, I have to write down blowout curmudgeon as a possible title here. I mean, we were discussing this a little bit earlier on Clubhouse, because sometimes I float the questions out to those guys and just see what they say. And a few of them, in particular, MK and Oncash, pointed out that the desirable part of the 2019 market is that it was a market on the upswing. It had the potential to be a bull market. And the market today, or a market that is 10x'd, certainly has a long way to look down, a steep cliff to look over.
Yeah, I don't have anything else clever to say about this topic. I don't know. I want the hobby to grow. Also, the thing that makes me uncomfortable about this is we have no data ever around this topic. So we're just completely speaking off of guesses. Oh, I think we're just like assuming the hobby grew from 2019 to 2021 in hobby participation. You know, we've seen numbers where the volume actually stays the same in a lot of cases when the market's up or down. It's just that like the values go up and down. So we don't even have enough data to prove there's more collectors now, and what number of collectors is ideal. What are we even looking for? 10 million collectors, 20 million? What are we talking about?
Yeah, no, I agree. I love your take that basically this question is a proxy for a different one. This question is a different question hidden in sheep's clothing. But the wolf question hidden beneath is, do you support the unbridled, untethered, you know, all-out guerrilla influencer, micro-influencer, macro-influencer, commercials, advertisements, you know, commercialization? Are you in favor of that? Because you must be, the correlation is you must be if you want to grow this up.
This is the take where like Fanatics is going to start handing out cards at games and stuff, and like every kid in the whole stadium is going to have a card, and they're all going to buy packs on their way out, and you know, this is like going to just be at a mass scale level. I don't know, that's just like not the way I think about the hobby, and we think about it in terms of like there's 10 of something, you know, like not this like mass supply. So when I think of 10xing the hobby, to meet that amount of people, you're just going to like print more, and it just makes more overproduction of cards, and so maybe that doesn't really appeal to me.
Absolutely. And let's think about this psychologically. From our points of view as collectors, participants in the hobby, isn't it better that we always can hold on to the belief that the best is yet to come, instead of getting there and then saying, where do we go from here? And, you know, I think about like other areas of life, like, is it better to be a fan of a popular but independent artist who you're rooting for to have that number one single one day, but it's in the future. It's something to look forward to. It's potential. It's like prospecting. Would you rather be looking forward to something, or would you rather get it and then be looking at it in the rearview mirror? And I think there's something to be said for perpetuating the feeling that the best is yet to come.
Well, Here's a episode title. Taylor Swift will never be in the rearview mirror, my friend. So how dare you say she would be?
How did you know that that's what I was thinking of?
Because if you said number one artist, I couldn't name anyone else. So that's why.
Taylor Swift is proof that money is almost worthless.
Oh my gosh. You better be careful. You're about to get scorched from behind.
Do you know that she gave her truck drivers for the tour $200,000 bonuses?
Which is amazing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because she made $500 million from the tour.
Yeah, well, the tour is projected to do over $1 billion by the time.
So she paid them like 0.5%, like, wow.
Well, but so there were, she had, there were 6 dates for Taylor Swift concerts in Los Angeles alone. And I believe the cheapest ticket was $1,200. $1,200 to spend, and these shows are epic. They're like 4 hours long, right?
Yeah.
She sings like the whole time. She sings the whole time.
Like opening acts, she sings for 4 hours.
Which is a feat of performance that must be admired. But $1,200 for a concert ticket that has 6 nights worth of people packing a stadium. And if that's what $1,200 gets you, and see, this goes into a rant that I told you to prepare for because it might be coming, and now here it comes.
Oh my God. Just keep in mind, people, Chris, in crowded rooms of sweaty jumping up and down people is like your worst nightmare. So
It is my worst nightmare, but this ties into a bigger point, which is our generation, millennials and younger, are constantly finding new and innovative ways to spend every single dime that we have, and to allow and to permit corporations and experiences to see just how much money they can extract from us.
capitalism.
To see just how broke we're willing to become. Because then we even go beyond our paychecks. So, for example, the median home value relative to the median household income, the cost of the principal plus interest on a median home is 50% of the pre-tax income of the median household. 50%. So after you've spent half of your month's money paying your mortgage and or your principal and your interest,
Say it. On what?
then you turn around on your shitbox.
There you go.
then you turn around and you take that money and you put $1,200 of it into your Taylor Swift concert ticket, and then maybe you put 1,000 of it into a card. Let's not exclude ourselves. Okay, you put 1,000 of it into a card, and then you have to buy your groceries and your household items and stuff, and you have zero at the end. The only reason our generation saves, the only reason, is because it is forcibly taken out of our paychecks in the form of a 401k. And the only reason our generation will own things of value is because we've been persuaded to do things like buy homes or buy cards, and those things store value. Hopefully they store value well. But we are buying things for the instant gratification of them. We are buying the home because we want this beautiful, picturesque home. We're buying the card because we want this amazing collectible that we're passionate about. And the concept of delayed gratification, or I just turned blue. That's how good this rant is.
Really sad.
Really sad. That's how sad this rant is. Or the concept of delayed gratification or saving that was so pervasive with previous generations is not with us. All right. And then here's the big galaxy brain level to this. What's going to happen to traditional investment vehicles like stocks or real estate when we're all in our 50s and 60s, and maybe we have like a valuable collection, or we have like a 401k, or we have a house? I mean, somebody told me earlier today that millennials are emptying their 401ks at the fastest rate ever, emptying them out.
Yep.
Right? And you know what? If a card came up that I wanted bad enough, I would do it too.
You would? You have.
I have. Okay. I don't know, Josh. This is, I have big observations about these things and about what it says about what will have value in the future. And what's it going to be? Go ahead, Josh. I'm done. Go ahead.
I have so many things to say,
Let's
but
go.
I didn't really want to jump in. You were on a roll. That was probably my favorite rate you've ever given.
Wow.
And this is my second most passionate topic in the world, behind cards. This concept of like overspending and, not saving for your future and stuff. Love it. Great topic. We're in serious debt crisis mode. It's really bad. Why don't you also, though, turn around, take a look at Christina's monitor, and see that she is buying Taylor Swift tickets right now.
I would not.
Hold on. Don't do your rant yet. Hold on. She turned around ready to do her rant. Hold on. Josh's rant.
Mine is just like a piggyback of sarcasm on yours. I don't have anything more to add. I think it was great.
Nice. Yeah, look, I could really go into the theoretical implications of these observations, but I'm not going to do that tonight.
Look, man.
Come over here.
It's about experiences, man.
Oh, my Lord.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate because y'all are being really annoying and loserish. It's about the experiences, man. You can't take the money, the stock, or the house with you in the future. But you know what everyone will remember? Those really nice pictures on Instagram of you and your friendship bracelets at T-Swift. Also,
True.
Instagram will live on forever after you're gone, and everyone will see how many European vacations you've taken.
Nice. Okay, thank you for that.
Counter to that, I get just as much value out of hanging out with friends in hotel rooms and apartment buildings, shitboxes, and those are free.
Fair. Also, when I was workshopping this take earlier this week, some people sort of like
Workshopping? Do you have one of those like tear-away white papers, like those big like white things you tear away the paper and you're sitting there like drawing it out?
No, not that. Just a good old clubhouse workshop. Somebody, but that would be nice, right? If it was magic.
Yeah.
I was workshopping that, and some people pushed back and said, well, basically, what about the corporate responsibility and the government responsibility as well? You can't just put all the blame basically on us. We can't take all the responsibility as consumers and members of this culture with beliefs and so on and so forth that we have, our myopic beliefs and approach to things. You have to blame the government for not establishing rules and regulations that can help prevent and protect. You have to blame the corporations for exploiting people to such an extent and really seeing to what extent you can push them. I think part of the inflation that we've seen over the last few years is corporations realizing after the pandemic that they can charge people a hell of a lot more than they were. And people will continue to push themselves and take out more credit and zero out their bank accounts and spend their entire paycheck. And I think that those are fair points to be acknowledged as well, is that there's greed and lack of oversight at the corporate and governmental level, in addition to the values, the cultural values that we have.
Yeah. I mean, that's like capitalism, right? It's like a bell curve. You've got most of the money sitting with a few number of people, and everyone else is kind of like trying to climb that mountain, but they keep getting stuck buying all the crap that the people on top are pushing down on them.
Exactly.
Well, capitalism, that's fine. You should just move to Sweden or something.
Take some personal responsibility. Like,
Yeah. That's
stop it. Like, the government has to regulate how you spend your money. Corporations should take advantage of your marketing scheme. Like, are you not a free will individual that can make decisions for your fucking self? Stop it.
all right. And there's another point of view. Another country heard from.
That's that's America.
That is okay. We got another.
I would I'm not gonna scratch that one.
All
You
right.
can write it down, but it's not gonna win.
Okay, not gonna win. All right. Let's go on. Ben cross country runners question really.
So was all that to say, like you're gonna get through all that, and then at the end be like, so guys, now that I've given you this rant, here's what you should actually do with your money: invest in shit beasts.
Yeah.
Like, what's like the actual end game? What's like the
Well,
what would you do with it instead? Cash under your mattress? What is the
No, it just feels like cash has never been more worthless. Like cash just it just doesn't. Dude, they are rolling out $130,000 base SUVs from like GMC.
Hey, is that a shot at GMC?
I don't know. I'm just
There's-
making an observation.
You're like, even GMC is making nice cars these days.
I'm just saying.
Just getting strays everywhere.
It's not a Lamborghini, all right? It's $130,000. It's not a Porsche. It's not a Maserati. It's not a Ferrari. It's a damn SUV. So that's look. There's just, you can look all around. Real estate prices is one of the best examples of how worthless money is. Or card values. How about that? How about card values?
Yeah.
How about card values showing how worthless money is? But so like one of the implications I think you can take away if you buy into this theoretical framework is that the businesses and the items and the assets that will have value over the longer term when our generation becomes in control of more and more of a proportional amount of the wealth in society and younger generations is businesses that provide people things that they're irrationally passionate about should fare well because that's what we want to spend. When we're no longer spending strategically or logically, but instead our spending is more oriented around satisfying passions or desires to have experiences and things like this, it just seems that there will a fundamental shift will accompany this, and then I just think that we're heading towards a passion society. How about we coin that term right now? We're heading towards a passion society.
The point you're making that cash is worthless is like people can basically get almost anything they want in terms of things. Like you can go get a house, you can go get a loan, you can go get a car, you can go get cards. And so what really of those things will become valuable in the future, we don't know, but you can just kind of like move your money around and determine what you want to actually be owning.
Yeah, that's a great point. What do you think, Josh, about?
I think it's all great. I personally have just been in favor of like making sure that I'm making more money than I'm spending, and if I'm spending money, it's on things that can hold value. I mean, that's really like the basis of my thought.
Makes sense. All right, I just want to correct the record here. Fact check myself. It was a Cadillac, not a GM.
130 grand?
Cadillac Escalade IQ. GM. That's where I got confused. General Motors new all-electric SUV starts at $130,000.
I mean, Tesla makes a SUV that's like 40 grand. I'm not sure what this one does. It's 90 grand better.
I don't know. Tesla is kind of a sweet deal because, like, compared to this stuff, those vehicles are reasonably priced and they have a prestige that comes with owning them as well. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. All right, I just wanted to fact check myself there. All right. Dude, how does somebody pay for $130,000 vehicle? Like, there was a statistic was given to me that said that 16% of the residents of California can afford to own the median valued house.
The median, which is like 50%.
Yeah, the median meaning the exact. If you put there's exactly as many houses priced above it.
So I'm not like a math wizard or anything, but that seems like it's wrong.
Dude, it's out of whack.
So that means like people are grandfathered into homes that they've just had, and they're worth more than they could afford if they had to move into it.
Totally, it's exactly right.
Yeah.
Or rich people in California own more than one house.
That's part of it too.
Yeah. People don't even own homes anymore. It's like these investment firms buying up homes and stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting byproduct of this worldview, is sort of that investment entities will continue to move into areas that they can push up the amount that people are willing to pay for things.
Right.
So
my rental properties are in trouble?
I don't know. Who knows? All right. Drake's PC back with another question. All right.
Jeez.
Drake, even the mention of his name now brings out jeers. All right. Consider this scenario. A card of a player you collect comes to auction, and your highest bid is $1,500, and it ultimately sells for $1,600. Months later, the card is offered to you for $2,000, and you buy it. As collectors, how do we justify spending more for a card in the near term shortly after we did not buy it for less? When is it okay or not okay to do that?
It's always okay to do that.
But not Luca.
Right.
Okay.
Of course. I mean, that would be silly. I mean, I would like to introduce Drake to this term that I coined called megabid. Where was your megabid? $1,500? Are you bidding like normal market price values on this stuff? Of course you're going to lose. You got a megabid so that you never lose an auction.
Right. Exactly. Where's your megabid at, Drake?
Did you just comment card? That's just that one word?
Yeah, just that one word. I'm replying to Hagedorn.
Card!
So here's the thing, all right? I have a situation that's kind of like this. So I passed on a Jokic card that ended up selling for $1,450 4 months ago. It got graded in the meantime, and now it's available for sale for $5,000. And I know that it sold for $1,450 because like I had a toe in the water. Now there is no chance in hell I'm going to spend $5,000. I'm going to spend $5,000 for this card that I could have had for $1,500 a few months ago. I think that's something to keep in mind. Is like, why do you want it now at $2,000 when you didn't want it at $1,500 a few months ago? Has something meaningfully changed in your estimation of the card, or is it just you saw it sell for a little more and then that made you want it more? Because here's the thing to keep in mind. There are lots of people buying and selling cards who don't purchase it for the intention of keeping it or for the intention of collecting it. This market is not set only by collectors. This market is set, their auctions are won by people who are buying the card for the purpose of turning around and selling it because they think it's undervalued. So sometimes you're bidding against somebody who doesn't care a lick about this card and who doesn't want to own it. They're just buying it because they think it's an undervalued asset, and they're going to turn around and try and sell it back to you or somebody like you for more. So yeah, that has to be kept in mind, is like, oh, just because a card went for more than what I paid for it, that doesn't mean that it's worth more than what you bid on it. That means that there might have been a flipper or a dealer in the market for it who thought it was worth more, and then you're making their theory come true when maybe you really shouldn't be. Because what if you're the second highest bidder, the only person who bid higher than you is a dealer who has no desire to own the card? Then what's its real value?
Would you rather have your Jokic black rookie or a house on a lake?
Oh, that's not even close.
Like a really nice one. Like the pipes that deliver the shit around this place, you can't even like.
I mean, Are we saying that, well, so are you offering me an item of much greater value than the car?
Yeah, the home is worth like $1 million, but you can never get the Jokic back, and you can't sell the house.
I'm sticking with the card.
Yeah, I'll keep Jokic.
I'm sticking with the card. Houses are vastly overrated.
And
Vast.
Keller Lake House is not something I would want to actually live in. I've been watching those houses.
Dude, if you ever go to a lake house, go to it in the summer and tell me that those bugs and those mosquitoes aren't going to drive you crazy.
Also,
They will.
I have this other take on buying a super, super nice house. You want to hear it?
Sure.
It's great. The thought of like buying a vacation home or like a second home or, the big old mansion. Dude, you could just Airbnb for a week at one of these places and get all your excitement out. Just go crazy at these places, live it up, have fun, and pay an absolute tiny, tiny fraction of what the value of the home is. And then you don't lose. Because if you live in a normal house and then you go to one of these places for a vacation, it's just like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. But if you own one of these $1 million huge mansions, it just becomes like another place to live for you.
Yep. 100%, dude. That is
Friend.
such. That is the realistic, practical take. I think like there's a lot of romanticizing, fantasizing, marketing that has seeped into the mind when it comes to homes and dream homes and so on and so forth. And these homes are things that are widely marketed and represented to people. But the reality of it is, at least from my experience, I love going to the lake. But for me, going for a week, every 3 months, every 6 months, that's more than enough. And then
And you don't have to clean it up. It's not your house.
100%. And then I come back, and dude, one thing that's nice about living in a high-rise apartment, or at least this one, there are no bugs in this apartment. None. No
And
spiders.
you've got just enough height over the
Over the bug threshold? I don't know. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe there's just the pest control here is outstanding.
plus I always picture the super rich person in their giant mansion that they got to with their Maserati, like sitting on their couch just scrolling through reels like the rest of us. They're just like, I'm in this giant house, but here I am on my phone.
Right, exactly. That's what we should call it. What's a concise way to say box that contains you while you look at reels?
I think it's about as concise as you can get. I mean, it's a much softer landing than your other one, so.
Right. Yeah.
Isn't that still the toilet, like the bathroom?
Dude, all your Clubhouse friends are just like raging on us right now.
Yeah, I know.
Like they're absolutely losing their minds. They're like, oh my god, my whole life is built around rental properties. What are you doing?
And dude, I want to acknowledge some comments from a little bit earlier where people are like, can you imagine normal people listening to this?
Dude,
Yeah, I get it.
this is the most people we've had this late at night. People love this topic.
Yep. I totally get it. I respect it. I acknowledge it. I am the outlier here. I am not speaking from the voice of consensus. Just so that.
Wait, hold on. I'm getting notification from my Tesla. 1 second here. Out of that. Yeah, we're good.
Nice. Okay. Watching reels in a shitbox. Nice.
I don't think you've explained the shitbox, so people are still like, is this guy like just pooping in the middle of his apartment? I don't understand.
No. Yeah, I know. It's just a way to denigrate the house as a concept. That's all we're doing here. We're just
You're minimizing what it does.
yes, exactly. Beavis wants a live look at the lake house. No can do, Beavis. No lake house.
I mean, if a house has really good air conditioning, and it's got like a TV. Have you seen those memes, the Red Zone memes? You know what I'm talking about? It's like can't wait for Red Zone, and it's like a picture of a TV like sitting on the ground, and there's like a lawn chair in front of it, and it's like, this is all I need. Red Zone on the ground, and there's like nothing in the rest of the apartment, and the wind, like you could see like the skyrise or like the cityscape on the window, but all he's got is like Red Zone in his lawn chair.
Exactly. Okay, there's a few comments. We've talked about this topic before, but let's rehash it briefly here. So Joe Poirot, the great, says, if there were a nice horse, perhaps Jokic would come and visit your lake house. And Kick It Forward says, would you rather be best friends with Jokic or own the black one of one? Guys, card. I do not care one bit about me meeting Nikola Jokic. I don't even want to meet him. What if I don't like him?
I already met him.
Dude, you absolutely have to take your pen, put it on the paper bully, and write the word card in quotes.
I already got it.
Okay.
I got it.
Lowercase, though.
Lowercase. It is lower.
People are going to think that you just, like, started typing and then you're like, nah, fuck it, enter.
Nope, just started thinking and just blurted out of one word. Or no, I guess I did type that word. Okay, all right. Let's go here. 90s B-ball card says Cooperstown, Canton, or Springfield. Which Hall of Fame would you most like to have a card show or a trade night at?
Which one's the NBA? Springfield?
Springfield.
There you go.
Have you visited any of those Hall of Fames?
Nope. I've seen them on video. That's all I need.
Christina, have you?
Yeah, we used to go to the Springfield Basketball Hall of Fame every year for field trips.
I'm more of a lake house guy.
I would definitely rather go to the lake house than the Hall of Fame.
It wasn't like it was a field trip. I didn't get to choose where I went with school.
I'm questioning all of your life decisions at this moment, so we heard enough.
How is that any different from any other moment that you think?
Yeah, that's true. I was laughing earlier in the show when you were like, if the idea is good, it's Chris and Josh's idea. If it's bad, it's my fault, and I apologize.
Yeah, that's literally my job in my letter.
I love how you're like super into like the stats of sports and the analytics and like the players, but then we're like, you could meet Jokic at the Hall of Fame. You're like, what? No, no, absolutely not. I would rather just sit in my apartment watching reels. No, thank you.
Exactly. Yeah. That's precisely right. All right. From Cardiac Kemba PC. I love your content and how it shines a light on all facets of the hobby. That's a good way to start. All facets of the hobby and its participants.
We like compliments in this show.
My question is, when do you feel other creators will showcase collections of players that are not considered GOATs? What can we do to showcase them better? I feel the hobby is still so focused on the monetary value of a collection, and thus only the GOAT collections are showcased and praised. I found many top collections out there of mid-tier players that are unbelievable but just don't get the love and the credit they deserve simply because they aren't worth as much. I'd just love to see more content out there showcasing these incredible collectors, give them some recognition. For example, Basketball Card Collector 93, who has an amazing Sean Livingston PC. So let's show that PC because I have gone through and liked all these posts once in the recent past. So here, for example,
That's the rookie,
2004
right?
Topps Chrome Superfractor rookie 1 of 1.
So that's like the equivalent of the Black Finite today, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Dang, that's sick. Look at that afro.
Yeah, that card is that is crazy, man.
That's a
And then,
sick
yeah,
card.
this guy just has an absurdly awesome collection. So these are the 07 limited logos, I think. Yeah, number 3 of 50 and number 50 of 50. Dude, it's gonna be tough to top that Superfractor.
He's warm. He's already warmed up.
So here is the rainbow minus the base and the refractor, but he's got the super there, raw, the gold, the X-fractor, and the black. Here's a nice collage of some of his nicest pieces.
Insane.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been through this collection. I've been down this hole once before.
Yeah. One of the Sean in the chat, Big Three Investments says real boxes. What do you think of that?
That's good. That's good. It doesn't instantly tell you what it's referring to, but it's good.
Yeah, we'll workshop it, as you say. We'll get the whiteboards out.
We'll workshop that. Yeah. What about the heart of this question, which is like, when does this stuff start getting more appreciation? I have an answer to this.
Well, let's hear it.
It starts getting more appreciation when everybody, or almost everybody, gets priced out of the Michael Jordans and the LeBrons and the Bradys and and the Mahomes and whatnot. That's when I've been, you and I, Josh, more so me, even though it started you, have pivoted into PCing other stuff. And now that I've like gone down that road, I've enjoyed it quite a bit. Now, if Michael Jordan cards were ever to be where they were at 4 or 5 years ago, you know, things would change, but that would mean lots of things have changed if that were to happen. So Beavis says he's priced out of the Sean Livingstons.
Well, I
so
had a really
so
funny
true.
phrase that it's super offensive, but I really wanted to say it, and it's "Speak for yourself, peasant."
Okay, all right. There we go.
Well, LeBron's like a third of the price of MJ, so to be fair, I still have a little bit of runway before it's too late. It's not much. I mean, if we 10x the hobby, I'm screwed.
Yes. Yeah. So there's a good consideration mitigating against 10x and that.
Yeah, so I can still buy cards of my favorite players. Otherwise, I'll be down in the Todd Gurley depths of washed up running backs, as Publius tells me.
Right. Exactly. I also do think that if you want to see more appreciation for the good or the great, but not the Mount Rushmore level players, we need to expand the sports knowledge of hobby participants. That's how you're going to get there. You're going to get there by, for example, I finished a little research project recently, and the number of just little jewels in this research project, players who were for example, David Robinson was the best player in the NBA for 3 seasons. There are only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are only 7 players in the history of the sport to have been the best player in basketball for longer than David Robinson. Now, I get that. So when I see a David Robinson PC, it means so much more to me now than it did 5 years ago, because I've spent an inordinate amount of time caring about basketball statistics. People will take more of an interest in the names that aren't necessarily in the headlines if they knew more about sports. What do you think about that?
Yeah. Analytical level for sure.
In Publius, the 3 seasons where David Robinson was the best player in the NBA were 93, 94, 94, 95, and 97, 98. And here's another spoiler for if I ever put out this content, and I will. The player who was the best player in the league the most times was not Michael Jordan, and it was not LeBron James.
It was Kobe Bryant.
It was Manu Ginobili. No, it was not Kobe. Do you want to take a guess at who it was?
How far back does this data go?
This analysis goes back to 1951.
Will Chamberlain.
Not Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain has the 3rd most.
Kareem.
Kareem.
Boom.
Kareem was the best player for 11 seasons. Best or tied for best? Because he was best 9 solo times, and he was tied for best twice. So
He was playing against like worse than plumbers.
worse, he was playing against retirees, retired electricians. So that's one thought that I have about ways to make people to not make, but ways for people to gain appreciations for other stuff. And then there's the age-old question: would you rather have the best Sean Livingston PC or the 2000th best Michael Jordan PC? Not saying those are equivalent, but just saying, would you rather, if
Right.
they were, would you rather have the 2000th best Jordan or the best Sean Livingston?
Depends on what my best MJ card is.
Fair.
If it's an 86 Fleer, Livingston.
There is the point being that there is a level where it's more desirable to have that Livingston Grail of all grails than MJ.
Yeah.
You know,
For us, with the MJ LeBron, like we're only gonna do it and continue to do it if we feel like we have a chance of adding to our collection and moving up the proverbial ranks of being one of the better collectors of that player. Otherwise, it's like you're just sort of, you're not giving up on it, but you're just kind of at a standstill.
Yeah, for sure. Any other things that you think would make people? You know what though? Like, how about this? How about like what Stacking Slabs is doing by bringing on collectors who have player PCs, and Carlson Cards is doing this too. And we're getting exposed to Drake's Drew Brees collection. Or today we heard the story of a $50,000 deal, for a Randy Moss card.
Yeah, it makes me think that like not only should content creators shine more light on it, put more focus on it, but also like companies should, businesses. Like these companies keep partnering with influencers and they keep putting attention onto big money flips and big money players. More marketing, especially from Fanatics, dude. Those guys definitely should be putting more attention on, like, I don't want to say the average player PC, but like the less than Hall of Famer guys, and because they have more incentive to want people to collect every player, not just the top guys.
That's a great point. That's a great point. And you know what? You can have just as much fun if you're passionate about a player. And I think that's the key, is finding things that you can get passionate about. But if you can get passionate about a player, you can have just as much fun collecting them as you would have collecting the GOATs. I can attest to that personally.
Especially if you can get their best cards.
Exactly. But you need an angle. You need a story that you can tell yourself about why you're collecting this player's cards. For some people, it's nostalgia, or it's a fond memory, or it's an association with a team, or it's some underrated aspect of their skill level. For me, the story that I find most important that I tell myself about players I collect, I need to really buy into or believe that they are extremely good or the best at something. The best of the best theory has always been one that motivates me, but that does not motivate everybody.
Yeah.
Like when they were talking about Randy Moss today on that Stacking Slabs interview, statistics didn't come up once. It was just about nostalgia for the player and enjoying watching him play and so on and so forth.
Don't you own a DeAndre Ayton card?
DeAndre Ayton?
Yeah, you said that you're focused on them being the best and their stat. You have a DeAndre Ayton card.
I think you mean Gobert.
No, did you have I think you have a DeAndre Ayton.
I have a set.
No. That's not what you have a DeAndre Ayton basketball card. That guy stinks.
I have the Luck of the Lottery set.
I know. I was just thinking of the most random guy in that set. That's all I could think of.
Yeah, I'm only collecting him because of the set. But I don't think he stinks, but he ain't the best at anything either.
He's the best at whining.
Well, congratulations on the Suns getting the third most national TV games this year, 37.
Is that good? Now I just get blacked out of 37 games.
Yeah, that sucks.
Congrats on the Suns getting the Christmas Day game.
Oh, the Suns. Who do they host?
Mavs.
The Mavs. The Suns host the Mavs.
Oh, it's here?
Yeah.
Oh, so, that's why she texted me that. So you already knew that was coming?
Christina's known this for about 36 hours, I'd say.
No, for a couple weeks. Shams leaked it like last week.
Oh.
He basically was like, sell me on Phoenix in December, and I was like, it's perfect weather, 60 degrees and sunny, and I live here.
It's either go see the Mavs play in Phoenix or go see the Nuggets in Denver.
That
was what it was.
They're hosting who? Warriors? I think it's the Warriors. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Warriors. Oh, we have a pick. Knicks over the Suns in the finals. Knicks?
That's what someone tweeted today. Was it Woj or somebody? I can't remember. They were like, this is their pick already. I was like, wow, that is very early.
Maybe if you guys get Embiid over there for nothing, then maybe you got something.
You think that's like not that far away? Simmons called that. He was like, you better be ready for Embiid to demand a trade out like any moment. And now it's already coming true.
I know. He was pretty good about that. We had something about Harden too. Damn, I may have accidentally deleted that.
That was one where I can't remember the Harden question.
Shoot. I think I accidentally deleted it when I meant to.
Are we gonna start doing early NBA takes? We got like 2 months to go.
No, you know what? Football people who love to watch this show they need their respect.
They need a month to themselves at least.
They do. They deserve. This is their time. I don't want to. Dude, it's time to get excited about football. I'm seeing like little highlights of preseason games and stuff. Like, let's go. It's football season.
I feel like you have to pick your quarterback. You got to like pick him now, and you got to stick by him this year.
A QB?
Yeah, just in general. Like that's the trend. You got to like pick your guy. You got to start posting every time they throw a sick pass in training camp. You know, their offensive coordinator just like got smarter last night because he ate a nice steak dinner or something. Like this is the take.
Okay, all right. And then do I have to get their NTRPA as well?
You got to get a napkin patch PSA 9 RPA, and you got to way overpay. You got to make it available for sale the next day. This is the way.
All right.
It's like incoming ... available.
Then I guess I got to go with Sam Howell.
Sam Howell. I would never, if it wasn't for cards and the season started tomorrow and the Commanders are playing, I would be like, who the fuck is Sam Howell?
I know.
Never heard of him in my life until his cracked ice was shoved in my face 400 times.
You know, in last week's episode, you mentioned the name Kellen Mond.
Mm.
And I feel like the Kellen Mond episode of The Hobby just got swept under the rug.
Yeah, that happened, bro. Someone paid a lot of money for that field.
Dude, the Kellen Mond thing really, really happened. There was a theory that Kellen Mond... That can't be real.
Did you look up sales history Kellen Mond sort by price?
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Well, I found his black... There's a sale in here that says his card went for $15,000.
That's true.
No, it can't. Not this card. That's got to be a sham sale.
Delete.
Yep, I'm deleting it right now. But I do see. Okay, so like here, maybe this is a good example here. No, actually, let me see if I can find an RPA out of. Here we go. All right. This Kellen Mond, RPA. Number.
That's exactly what I'm picturing.
I know.
Like a regular patch.
I know.
Yeah.
I know, that's why this is perfect. Number 97 to 99. This RPA is sold for $2,400.
What team is he on these days? Do you even know?
I do not know. Kellen Mond, Cleveland Browns. Oh shit! His time still might be coming.
Did you watch the Manziel doc yet?
I've not watched it.
Well, I think knowing that Kellen Mond's on the Browns kind of makes sense after you watch that documentary. The Browns don't know what they're doing.
Fair enough. Maybe I also had a thought that okay, so the theory of Kellen Mond coming on and replacing Kirk Cousins in Week 4 and throwing 80 touchdowns to Justin Jefferson didn't quite come true.
Did it? No.
But I was having the thought, what if Desmond Ridder just fucking scorches the league this year?
It's just like 2018 Pat Mahomes style.
Yes, or what if Kellen Mond replaces Watson in Week 6 and just
As South says in the chat, Mond's already been demoted to QB3.
oh jeez. All right. Well,
So if Desmond Ridder just comes in and Game of Thrones dragons everybody and just friggin' lays the fire all over the field. He's just like a dual threat. He's like Michael Vick combined with Dan Marino. He's just lighting the world on fire.
Yep.
I would pay ungodly amounts of money for his Black Finite. The sticker auto version though. I don't want the normal base. I want the sticker auto.
Fair. I think as a hobby we have an event like that due. An event like that happening is due. It's overdue.
Are you starting the Desmond Ridder hype train right now?
I am providing a new investment thesis for Desmond Ridder.
It's that you're saying mathematics statistically he's due? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying cosmic justice requires
So the moon lines up with your theory?
the moon, the constellations, the shadow cast. What are those heads called? The shadow cast at Stonehenge.
Easter Island.
No, East Stonehenge. That's what I meant.
I think you have a future as a influencer in the sports card game. That's what I think.
I'm showing these guys how it's supposed to be done.
You're like, I don't know if he's good. I haven't watched any film, stats, no idea. He hasn't played. But guys, here's what I'm thinking. Hear me out on this.
Dude, hobby prospectors, man, they took the Wander Franco hit. They took the Zion Williamson hit. They took the John Morant hit.
LaMelo Ball.
I mean,
Trae Young.
they got like Publius says, the broken clock concept.
I mean, South is right. To be fair, he does have a pretty loaded core of talent around him, and their offensive line is good too. So
All right.
the fall will be even mightier when he fails.
Do you think I'm too late to get a Desmond Ridder RPA?
Napkin patch PSA 9. I mean, under 10 grand, yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. I'll have to deliberate on this. All right. Okay. I don't know if we are prepared to do this topic
I'm always ready.
at this late hour.
No, I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right. 2 questions on this topic, both from Michael Jordan Associates. 23 over Elo says, please discuss the hobby anarchy movement. The hobby is no place for rules.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And Cajun Cardboard says, what rules determine what a true rookie card is? Are those rules optional or subjective?
Man, we got some rule questions this late. People know we love this one. Man, I feel like you definitely need the rules to the first question. I did I miss something? There's a movement now about anti-rules? Like, what is this? Like, you just buy whatever?
This was an offshoot of a discussion in the Michael Jordan chat about whether the 84 star can ascend to true rookie card status because the requirements, the once thought requirements that a true rookie card must come from a blind pack is no longer meaningful in the current day hobby. We've evolved beyond that requirement.
Are we saying that Star is a legitimate release of sports cards?
That is being said.
Then how could it not be the rookie card?
That is the conclusion. The thing that there's maybe a few things holding it back, but the main one being that it wasn't issued in a blind pack. That instead it was issued in a transparent bag, and you knew exactly what you got in it.
Well,
yeah.
There's like boxes of exquisite you can buy where you know what you're getting in the box.
Yes. So those would have cards coming out of that particular box would fail to meet the blind pack requirements for being considered a true rookie card. Now this doesn't prevent like that star from being like a rookie year card. It's still that. It's just not a true rookie. Is the argument.
I also want to poke at this like clear bag. You know what you're getting. If I bought a box of 86 Fleer back in the day, I knew I was getting a Jordan rookie as well.
So that is a bunch of junk. That is a retort given. And then Carbon points out that the concern about it being not widely distributed.
Okay.
So
I don't know. I have no dog in this fight. You guys can fight over these two boring-looking, mass-produced, vintage-looking, junk-ass-looking cards. But I'll go with the Star. It's literally his rookie year.
Mm-hmm. It is.
Where do you
All right, let me
stand on this?
I need to think more about it because I think this is the ultimate edge case, and I've just really started thinking carefully about true rookie. But let me give you a different true rookie example that was brought up. Joe Montana. Joe Montana's rookie season was 1979. His first NFLPA license card, Player Association license card, was 1981 Topps, but it was not NFL licensed. Okay, the NFL licensed a Fleer product that didn't have the NFLPA license. So Fleer in 81 put out a bunch of team cards, and Topps put out a bunch of player cards, but the Topps cards could not have NFL logos or team logos. So is the 81 Topps Montana a true rookie card? Or is it the 1982 Topps, which was fully licensed and has a card belonging to a base set? It also has the subset card, but it has a card belonging to the base set, and it's fully licensed. So which one is it? The 81 Topps, which is only half licensed, or the 82, which is fully licensed? Which is the true rookie?
This one doesn't have the logo of the team on it?
Correct.
Ooh, look at that. I never know. This is news to me, sir.
It does say the word 49ers, but that's it.
This one is like more expensive, right? More like seen as the true rookie Montana. That's what you'd say?
That card is by far more valuable than the 82.
Do we even have the 82?
Yes, I think we do.
We do not.
Okay. I think it's waiting to be admitted.
Yeah, that's how popular it is. That's an interesting one. What do you think? I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I can comment on the Jordan. I at least know those two cards.
Yeah, so I think that I think it has to be the 82.
So you're all about like the licensing, which I agree with.
I think licensing is one of the things that matters for sure. Fully licensed matters, but yes, that's it. That's the one on the phone. And don't be deceived by the words all pro at the top. That might make it seem like it's a subset, but it's not a subset. players in the base set who were all pros, all of them had the all-pro designation. Card.
Look,
$13.
$13.
But I want to say this as well, though. Just because a card is a true rookie card, that does not mean that a rookie year card is less desirable, because there's so many other things that the 81 Topps has going for it. So the 81 Topps is an earlier release and closer to his rookie year. And there's a consensus built around it in the hobby. And so, it's not the true, it doesn't meet the criteria to be a true rookie, but that doesn't mean it should be less desired or less valuable than the 82.
Yeah. I don't know where I stand on all this. This is tough. I also don't collect vintage, so I don't really have too much of a strong opinion either way.
Oh, but don't you worry. This filters in to our eras as well.
No, I was worried. Thank God. Okay, good.
This filters into our eras too. And this, the struggle here is that for the last decade or so, information that's been disseminated to newcomers in the hobby in particular has been disseminated by marketplaces and by breakers. And those entities can do a great job of spotlighting cool cards, cool sets, and stuff like that. But there's not a maximal effort to apply, let's say, consistent standards. So like Carbon points out here, the idea that the 52 Topps mantle is consistently referred to as Mantle's rookie card. And there is no justification for that to be his rookie card. It's the 51 Bowman.
I would go as far as to say that both of those entities you just named don't want their customers to be knowledgeable in what they're purchasing.
It's a fair price. That's a fair point. That's a very fair point. It's like, it's really totally incumbent upon us as collectors to care about things like this.
Doesn't it blow your mind, though, that, like, the most expensive sports card ever in a lot of people's minds, the PSA 10 mantle, isn't even a rookie card?
Yeah. I do think that's...
Doesn't that kind of, like, make you uneasy?
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. I want to acknowledge Eddie's point here, too. I agree. You cannot say everyone. I agree with that, Eddie. Breakers and marketplaces can be some of the best sources of shedding light on information about cards, new sets, old sets, and so on and so forth. That's 100% correct. Okay. Yes, Josh, and here's what makes me extra nervous. If we don't have firm footing of the rules and the standards of the hobby, then you can have influencers or other types of people who want to push public consensus in one way or another. And the public can be fickle. The public can change its mind quickly. The public is susceptible to being manipulated. You can have people pull off manipulations, pump and dump schemes by saying, oh, this is the real rookie. And then after that card's value goes up and they sell it, no, this is the real rookie. Actually, I was wrong. And from my understanding, I'm not well versed in this. I'm just repeating something that I've heard secondhand. But my understanding was something similar to this happened with Lewis Hamilton, where there was a belief that a Lewis Hamilton card in the mid-2000s was his true rookie.
Sold for like $200,000. Remember that?
Yes. And then, sorry guys, different true rookie. One of the biggest threats to newcomers in this industry is that they come in, like, here, think about this, man. How annoyed would you be if you just came into the hobby and you read an item description somewhere, 86 Fleer, Michael Jordan's rookie card, and you buy it thinking you're buying Michael Jordan's rookie card, and then it's later revealed to you, hey, guess what? We relaxed the standards. The blind pack requirement is no longer a requirement for the hobby. And now the 84 star is his rookie card. Enjoy your 86 Fleer third year non-rookie card.
I'd be super pleased.
We need to sort this shit out, man.
How? What's the authority, though? Like, who's we?
The collector community needs a system of rules that has been justified with far more than just this is the way we've always done it, or this is the public consensus.
Well, how this question started with the uprising of anarchy and demolishing of the rules, and you're actually saying we need to add rules.
Correct. I am against hobby anarchy, and I'm strongly in favor of firming up rules.
See? Socialist. I knew it.
Anyway, enough about this. The project of solving this requires a level of detail and justification and theorizing that is unprecedented in this hobby. I have no doubt about that. So, but I will tell you this. I was browsing a source earlier today, the Rookie Card Guidelines and Best Practices by Victor Roman Sr. And his website is called TrueRookieCards.com, I think. And he was weighing.
What is he? Star or Flair?
He weighed in on this topic months and months ago when it was a really hot topic. And he has made an attempt here to spell out some guidelines, and it's there's some good content here. It would take a whole show to go through this, but it's good. It's good to discuss and think about. So for anybody out there listening who wants to check that out, go for it. It's well done. It's very thorough and well thought out. All right. Moving on here, we have time for a few more questions. Ryan Bitter says, do you read or care about the write-up on the player on the backside of the card? With statistics readily available online, is there really a need for that? Think of all the space this is taking up on a card. A card could have a creative or aesthetically pleasing feature / image instead.
A lot of the cards don't have stats in the back. Like the exquisite one I have here has like a description of how they obtained the jerseys, or the fact that the jerseys are from NBA games, and how they got the autograph from LeBron and stuff like that. So I like stuff like that, descriptions. And then, some of them have like fun tidbits about the player or stuff you might not necessarily get from the internet, especially because they wrote it at the time of the release, so it's a little bit more contextual. So I don't know. I know the stats are like what you usually see, but there's other stuff sometimes.
That's true. There definitely is other stuff. Inserts in the 90s were a place where they put like a nice caption, something witty on the back. I want to see advanced stats on the back. That's what I'm calling for, Ryan Bitter. All right.
What's the Jay-Z dinner question?
I want to see like sources for the pictures. I want to know what fucking game it came from and like what the stats were in that game.
That's great, and I think that should be doable.
It should be, but it's not.
Otherwise, we have to like try to photo match those and waste a lot of time.
What's the Jay-Z question? South keeps he's like all caps now. He's upset.
I know. I've got it queued up for South. Here's what South wants to know.
It's complicated. It's like cash and meeting him or something.
Yep, this is a choice, Josh. This is for you to answer, not me. Option 1, dinner with Jay-Z and $500,000.
For what? For me, or I have to give that to him?
You need to choose. You get one of these two things, but only one.
I know, but do I get the $500,000 or does Jay-Z get it?
Yeah, you get it.
So I get to get dinner with him and someone's going to give me 500,000 cash?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's option 1.
Okay.
Option 2, Michael Rubin White Party plus 1 hour in the Topps office where the Griezmann boxes are stored.
What's that?
I can't help. This is a quiz, and I cannot provide any additional help or
Like-
information.
The idea is that I get to steal what's in the Topps room. I get to take it home with me and whatever I can fit in my arms or something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I want no part of that white party. Absolutely no part. And I get $500,000 cash. I don't even know what the other thing is. Is there some, unless there's like some multi-million-dollar cards in this Topps room that I'm not knowing about that I'm foolishly turning away? I'll take the 500 grand. And
South, your response.
I'll power through this dinner with Jay-Z where he just talks about himself for 2 hours.
That's the drag, is that you have to listen to
100%. Dude, I was thinking like, how much would he have to pay me to go to dinner with him? 500 grand sounds pretty good. I would do that.
that the normal question is like, would you rather have dinner with Greg Popovich or get $500,000? Because you could get the $500,000, or you could listen to Greg Popovich give you all of his advice about his life, and you can take all the knowledge that Greg Popovich gives
He
you
probably-
about how he got to where he is.
He probably has an autobiography.
But you can ask him all the questions that you need to
Oh.
ask him.
See, like,
You can become the mastermind and surpass Greg Popovich by taking his knowledge.
dude, if you were like dinner with LeBron and like a slumber party, like a pillow fight slumber party with LeBron, or like $1,000, I'd be like, yeah, $1,000, I could buy a nice card with that. $500,000 or a dinner with Greg Popovich? Is that a joke?
Can Pillow Fight with LeBron be a contender for
I just wrote it down.
okay.
Dude, 500 grand or a LeBron dinner, I would choose 500 grand in an absolute snap of a second. No chance, LeBron. I like you, man, but $500,000, dude, I could buy a monster grail.
Okay, but the thing that makes this so great is that usually about half or more of the respondents to questions like these are choosing the dinner.
I mean, you want to, or Christina and you guys, this whole rant about like how money is worthless and experiences. So maybe I'm the idiot.
My response to South was, can I skip the party and still open the wax? And do I have to go to dinner, or can I hide in the bathroom to get the $500,000?
Thank you.
Like, I would take the wax or the money, but not the other part of that hypo.
They're pooping.
Lunch. So like, do you honestly think that Greg Popovich would give you any sort of advice that would change your life different from what you already know about him?
Put somebody else in. Put the most knowledgeable, successful person you can
Elon
imagine.
Musk.
Elon Musk. There you go. Eat lunch with Elon Musk or 500.
Here's the secret. Here's the secret with guys like that. I'm gonna break all your hearts out there. Whatever these people tell you, it's not about like the knowledge that they have and what they can tell you. It's about like how you would apply it to yourself, and like, do you have the skill and the will to move yourself forward to be as successful as them? You do not. That's why they are more successful. They're not gonna like condense down their success to you in fucking sentences over dinner. It's impossible.
And I'm going to take it a step further. I agree with that completely. And the amount of luck, fortunate timing, and circumstances falling just the right way to become as rich and successful in those people is something that you cannot replicate no matter how many things you know.
And they couldn't replicate it if they started over.
Exactly.
Yeah, dude, that would be so worthless. Hey, LeBron, teach me all your secrets. Be 6'9" and 250, the most athletic person on the planet. Just start there. I'm like, well, I'm out.
Right. There you go. There you go, South. Happy birthday, buddy. All right.
$500,000.
500,000, baby. Oh my god. Okay.
So-
All right.
I did see the Karl Malone question. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that one's way at the bottom here.
Yeah, for good reason.
Oh, here we go. We've got time for like two more. Nick's Basketball PC says, please discuss the joy of making an offer to a seller. They decline, and then you send it to, and then they send it to auction, and you win the card for less.
I listened to the interview with Power Wheels, Caleb. Shout out Austin Carlson's Cards. And he talked about this where he was like trying to get this Brady card years ago for like I think it was like $500 or something, or $600, and he offered 600. He was like kept offering 600, and then the guy was like, no, I need this, and then he just sent it to auction, and he wanted it for like 250 or something. It was like, yes, a win for the collector. I love when that happens. It's so satisfying. It's like I knew I was right on price all along. You were insane. You're never correct, and you should have just taken it. You shouldn't have been greedy and just take the damn offer. I mean, I'm the only one that's going to offer this much. Just take it.
Yep. Amen, buddy. All right.
Field McCaffrey. Did you hear what I said?
What'd you say?
Field McCaffrey.
Yeah, exactly. I'm praying for that exact outcome. All right.
Card.
Last question. Really more of a statement from Brax Ball Cards.
Oh my god. You said that, dude, it's already 10:50. No. This is going to take 4 hours.
It's quite long. It is quite long. All right. Bro, big news over at Brax HQ. Big news. For the past 10 days, my crew and I have been holed up in the Hamptons crunching numbers and pondering the great mysteries of the hobby.
The Hamptons? Yeah, right.
And I'm honored to announce that we've uncovered a new and original revelation that will blow the collective mind of the hobby. You might want to sit down, bro. Here we go. When it comes to future value and growth potential, I posit that the smartest and safest places to park your capital are rare, low serial numbered cards from sets that have been accepted by the hobby hive mind and feature the most iconic and greatest players of all time, aka GOATs. I know. Take a breath. No one's ever said this out loud before. It surely hasn't been repeated by literally everyone. It's a totally new thought, and as such, it deserves a name, and I will call it Brax Brilliance, because I'm Brax, and I'm brilliant for being the first person to ever think or say this. So now, moving forward, if a player is truly iconic and transcends sports with a global brand and a bunch of rings, we can refer to them as a Brax player. Hopefully, this totally revelatory and original concept enlightens others and inspires them to stop wasting their capital, quote-unquote, collecting future worthless cards of players they like and or mean something to them, and instead focus on their capital on low-numbered assets of GOAT athletes / brands from hobby-approved sets. The hobby is no place for thinking outside the box. You are welcome, bro. Now go make some smart investment plays.
I thought he was all about the QB prospecting.
He's a complicated guy.
This guy needs to get his brand straight.
The Brax brand is ambiguous right now in the market.
Eddie says that's a horrible take. That is just like the most obvious sarcasm I've ever heard in my life.
Little bit of Braxcasm.
People are turning on Drake, man. In the chat, they're saying Brax is better than Drake now.
In fairness to Drake, I believe that is mainly Oncash driving that agenda. But in fairness to Oncash,
No,
he's making
for those listening to this later and don't have context of the chat, it's literally floods and streams of that. It's not just Oncash. It's so many.
Well, it was a good run, Drake.
It was more than 0 people said that.
Shout out to the card letter robot in the chat.
Oh, what is that? It keeps.
Oh shit! All right.
Babe Boop just like randomly goes. Earlier it said like some random AI thing about me. I was like, what is going on with this card ladder robot?
I would like to take a moment and express that Card Ladder is not affiliated with this Card Ladder robot. We do not agree with any opinions or comments made by such account.
I do love the beat boop. That's funny.
There is your disclaimer from Christina. All right, let's pick a name for this episode.
Card.
Yeah, it's going to be Card, right?
Well, I do want to hear the rest because I feel like we were loaded with gems.
We will hear the rest. All right. If you don't like it, blame Christina. A bulk submitter's dream.
I have a T-shirt of that first one. You said.
Are you gonna wear it at the Burbank show?
That would be so awesome to get that printed before Burbank and wear that. It would be so funny. And it has an arrow, and I'm always like standing on that side of you.
All right. Can we get a little respect for a bulk submitter's dream? That if in a different week, I would like that title a lot. See if it still has its smell. Touch it, smell it. I believe I did say that earlier. I have to buy cocks.
Yeah, dude. What an unfortunately named cable company we have in Arizona.
Yep. Subjecting yourself to heinous content. Respect the dollar box browser. Blowout curmudgeon. Taylor Swift will never be in the rearview mirror.
Dude, that could be her next song title.
We've had a lot of Taylor Swift references over the months.
Do you think anyone ever messages her with ideas for her next album title? Because I feel like I should do that.
I think you should.
I think one or two people might have done that previously.
Like if I DM her Instagram, do you think that she'll read it and then be like, "Wow, sick idea"?
Yes.
She'll probably invite you to dinner.
Yeah, because Red Baron Pizza doesn't reply to me, so I'm pretty sure.
Dude, that is their problem.
they have like 1,500 followers, and I'm like, they're not replying to me.
Scorched from behind. Move to Sweden socialist.
I do. I feel like you didn't appreciate me calling you a socialist, so we probably shouldn't put that as the title.
I need a lot.
I don't like to box myself in with labels. So.
Oh.
That country next.
I
Oh
love
my.
labels. You can't box me in. All right.
I also, when you said the scorch one, I pictured Desmond Ritter just like fucking scorching the earth week one.
Then we have he's the best at whining.
Oh yeah.
And
DeAndre Ayton.
yes. And pillow fight slumber party with LeBron.
Yeah. I'd rather have $5,000.
Right. Correct.
Are these, well, like, do the pillows, are they like the feather ones, you know, when you smash, like, because if they're like the memory foam ones.
That does matter. You're right.
I'd
That does
rather
matter.
pay him $5 to not have to have a sleepover pillow fight with him. Like,
Right.
I
But
pay
think
$5,000 to not.
of all the knowledge, you'd get from him overnight, you know, like he'd probably give you his best, like over a glass of wine, he'd probably give you his best tidbits.
I don't drink, so.
Well, he's the one, I'm saying he's drinking the wine, so he's more, you know, like outgoing with his takes.
Can I just send him to your house?
This is getting into the realm of, no, like you're like paying him to come to my house at night. No, this is.
For a lingerie, like a lingerie pillow fight, Josh.
Lingerie.
You
All right.
and LeBron alone.
This is what happens when you get an hour here. We need a title. I'm going with card.
Well, you didn't even say card.
No, yeah, I know. I mean, that's the one. It's card. Card, exclamation mark.
I like
Yeah.
books with green.
Well, you lose.
Well,
I just can't wait for Nick to put up the YouTube video and it's like crossover episode, whatever the fuck, date, card. It just says card, and people are like, wait, what? Yeah,
Yes.
Is it all lowercase with exclamation point?
no, Chris, you have to do it the way Chris did it. I think it's uppercase C with an exclamation point.
All right. I can't wait to see the 6 YouTube comments of people explaining why real estate is a good investment.
Dude, that's 100% going to be the most popular thing discussed about this episode. 100%.
All right.
You forgot the one that was like money is worthless or something. Money has never been more worthless.
We may or may not do an episode next week because we will be on the road. So I can't quite assure the audience that we will have one.
Beep boop.
Beep boop.
You guys
But
are driving next Friday?
something like that.
We'll be in Chandler on Friday.
Christina says we
Oh
will
my
be
God.
in Chandler on Friday.
I better alert the troops,
Alert the troops.
aka my kids. They're gonna have every game imaginable ready to show you. Like, oh, come to my room and look at my new toy, this new game.
I had fun playing with that Mario puzzle game last time.
Well, they've graduated to Harry Potter, so
Ooh,
She loves Harry Potter. They've reached her level.
finally,
All right. We will see you guys in a week or 2.
beep boop.
We're reaching the top.
A lot has changed since Card Ladder began. We started with 500 cards in our database, and now we have over 3 million cards and over 30 million sales.
For anyone asking who is the best, we putting our hands up.
With Card Ladder's sales history feature, we have virtually every card in our system. If the card you are looking for ever sold on one of these platforms, you can find it using Card Ladder's sales history, and you can add a card to your collection with just one click.
My time. None of you people can tell me to stop.
Plus, every card, no matter the last time it's sold, has an estimated value that we calculated using our state-of-the-art player indexes. Unlike other apps, when you see Card Ladder's verified checkmark, that means a researcher personally vetted each and every sale.
We know what it takes to be reaching the top.
We know what you want, because Card Ladder was created by collectors for collectors.
Know what it takes to be reaching the top.
Join the innovators, not the imitators. Card Ladder 2.0, constantly innovating. Try it for free. See why Card Ladder is the industry leader in sports card data.
We know what it takes to be reaching the top.
Card Ladder 2.0.